The best of money matters. Right Business.
Welcome to The Right Business, where we dive deep into the stories of trailblazers who dare to disrupt the status quo, find the gap in the market to find the right business. Hello, I'm Hong Bin Jung. Tea experiences usually involve steeping a bag, pouring hot water, or maybe even whisking a bowl of matcha in a rush before starting the day. Most of the time, it's about the drink itself, the flavor, the caffeine, the routine. But Pétale Tea, Singapore's first blooming tea specialist, it's different. Watching a blooming tea unfurl like a flower, feeling the ritual of hand-whisked matcha, and taking a moment to slow down, reflect, and reconnect. It's a practice that blends mindfulness, storytelling, and intention, turning something as simple as tea into a journey of pause, gratitude, and personal growth. And to share more about how tea can become a mindful and immersive experience, joining us today is Rosemary Kwa, founder of Pétale Tea. Hi, Rosemary. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi there. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Well, Rosemary, Pétale Tea was born from your journey in the tea world after more than a decade managing a renowned tea room. What gap did you identify in Singapore's tea landscape, which Pétale Tea set out to address it?
When I was managing a tea room, I noticed that in Singapore, we had many traditional tea brands that focuses a lot on heritage, premium tea leaves, tea bags, but there wasn't really a brand that connect people to the meaning of drinking tea and the experience. So I think most people, they drink tea for the taste, for the health, but rarely for the ritual of pausing and having a moment for yourself. Yeah, so I really wanted to create something that goes beyond flavor, a tea that could inspire you to be mindful, to give you a chance to slow down in today's really fast-paced world. Yeah, that's really what we're trying to do. Yeah.
Right. Well, if we think of traditional tea brands, the focus is usually on, the flavor profiles, the packaging, or heritage storytelling. Most don't emphasize, mindfulness or the emotional side of tea. So why was it important for you to focus on tea as a tool for intentional living and self-reflection? And why do you think this aspect of tea has been largely overlooked? And how does tea kind of, pull out that self-reflection part?
Right. Okay. So that actually reminds me of this conversation I had with a friend just 2 weeks ago. He actually shared about his own experience being highly functioning as an entrepreneur, yet he had actually depression at the same time.
Right.
Yeah. So exactly, we are really busy people running in the rat race, and we hardly touch base deeply with ourselves, right? So I was joking with him that, hey, you don't even have time to feel depressed or emotional at that moment, even though he really had depression. So right now in this industry, I feel that emotional and mindful side of tea is really overlooked. Perhaps most of the brands are really focused on tradition, origin, the technical aspect of tea, or even being a competition to coffee. So by framing tea as a tool for intentional living, I really want Pétale Tea to remind people to enjoy the moment, really just watch the flower bloom slowly in the glass. It's not just tea, but it's a ritual. It's a ritual to remind yourself, hey, take care of yourself and touch base with yourself. That's really important.
Oh, that's very, very heartwarming. Well, you've positioned Pétale Tea as Singapore's first blooming tea specialist. Now, what exactly does it mean to be a blooming tea specialist, and what drew you to this unique form of tea?
When we position ourselves as a blooming tea specialist, if you look at our website and our offering, most of the products that we are actually offering to the customers, they are mostly blooming tea. So we started 7 years ago, and during then, there are actually many brands who try to emulate the existing big international brands. We know that we have to do something different to stand out among the crowd. If not, we won't be able to get our unique selling point across really quickly. So to be a blooming tea specialist, it means that we have built our expertise to curate, to source, to also craft unique flavors where you can't find anywhere.
Right.
So we have really special flavors like a new tea called Gratitude. That's actually on-day flavor.
Oh.
We have and when you turn behind, there's a little story, and the story is located in Kampong Glam, Singapore.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have very unique flavors like also pineapple tart, bandung that narrates the Singapore story. But we have many other popular flavors like Japanese muscat grapes or lychee rose as well. Yeah.
Wow, these are flavors that you didn't even imagine it to be a tea flavor. Well, is there a particular ritual you encourage around blooming tea that enhances this experience as well? And how does this differ from other tea experiences?
Really simple. The ritual I encourage is use a clear glass pot. Just pour hot water, wait for that couple of minutes, watch the tea ball bloom into a flower. So this mindful experience is supposed to make you pause and enjoy the experience. Unlike most of the tea that you sip very quickly, blooming tea is meant for you to slow down and enjoy the blooming moments. Reconnect with yourself.
Oh, very, very cool. Well, at first, Pétale Tea gained recognition in the B2B space with corporate hampers and gifting solutions. So what made you decide to expand into the B2C market? And how are consumer expectations different from corporate clients in this aspect?
Right. Well, we first found traction in the B2B space because blooming tea was really unique. It makes a very unforgettable gift. It's beautiful. It has that storytelling for corporate branding. And these days, we actually found that we are very good at creating blends that tells the story of individual clients' organization too. That over time, we also see that many individual customers will receive the teas. They also want to buy for themselves or as a gift for the people around them. So this is when we realize that, hey, it's time to tap into the B2C market.
Okay. So what can we expect when experiencing Pétale Tea? Is it more about sampling the teas, exploring gifting options, or immersing themselves in the storytelling and rituals behind the brand?
So last June, we launched our storytelling team. This storytelling team is really aiming to create a gifting experience. So you have your own personal story when you gift that tin of Pétale Tea, right? Yeah, so you not only expect yourself to taste very unique blends with unique combination, but also immerse in the story of each of these blends and the value of this blend, because our storytelling tins are actually named after a life journey value. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So beyond the product itself, Pétale Tea also has a strong social impact mission, donating $3 from every tin sold to Daughters of Tomorrow. Why was it important for you to embed this, cause into your business model as well? And how does it connect with Pétale Tea's larger mission?
So from the start, starting Pétale Tea was really my personal journey. It was a journey of self-discovery, knowing my limits and ability. So supporting Daughters of Tomorrow was natural because the philosophy is all about growth, taking the courage to do something different, step out of your comfort zone, blooming into your own potential. So this idea and mission of empowering especially women from disadvantaged background is something that really resonates a lot with me. And I think that everyone deserves to have a chance to hop into a better life and to empower yourself. Yeah, so this is how it got started. So it's something meaningful for ourselves.
Amazing. And your brand philosophy often, compares tea and blooming flowers to personal growth. How have you seen this philosophy resonate with your customers and their experience with Pétale Tea? I mean, what has been the feedback been like?
So we heard stories too. So we have 10 of these storytelling flavors, 10 values. So we thought these are the really beautiful stories that we have written, but we have heard very touching stories when we launched this in Takashimaya a couple of months ago. So for example, we had this Indonesian guy. He had stayed in Singapore for 15 years. And he said, hey, it's time for me to go back to Indonesia to take over the family's business. But I have been staying with my auntie for this 15 years, and she was the only one who's been taking care of me when I was in school all the way to now for 15 whole years. So he actually bought the gratitude, this tin flavor called gratitude, and it feels like it's something that is really a message close to his heart. Yeah, so these tea names actually resonate a lot with every individual when they want to pick up something as a gift. To me, that is a very touching story because everyone has their own story, right? So pick your own story.
Definitely. So before we let you go here, what's next for Pétale Tea? Do you see expansion into new markets, collaborations, or even new forms of tea experiences on the horizon?
Yes. Actually, hoping to see expansion in both the market and experiences. So regionally, we are already in Indonesia in our small ways. We want to bring Pétale Tea to more countries and also to explore collaborations that align with wellness, luxury gifting, and sustainability as well. Most importantly, to carry on, to inspire people to reconnect with themselves, celebrate and reflect in your everyday life.
Amazing. Didn't know how you have this different perspective of tea, but thank you so much for sharing, Rosemary.
Most welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. That's Rosemary Kwa, who's the founder of Pétale Tea. This has been The Right Business with me, Hangbin Jung.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.